Welcome to episode 20, what did I say, 28 of the Richie Rich and
29
show. It might be 29, actually.
It's upper 20s.
Wait, it's in my notes. It is 29. Oh
Thought so.
God. That's crazy. That's crazy talk right there. Episode 29 of the Richie Rich and Westford show. Well, if you are just tuning in, we talk about today's trending topics and we ask a sex question of the week.
Yes.
Now, this week we put a poll out on Twitter, as we've been doing, asking about the big O, and I don't mean Oprah. We said, is your climax a big spurt or a little dribble?
Might not be a little dribble, maybe a lot of dribble.
Maybe a lot of dribble, right.
But,
Or like I think I said dribble pool. Is it a dribble pool or is it a long distance spurt? Now you got this question off of Twitter, right? Someone tweeted you this question this week?
Yes, they did.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that our audience is now like showing us how sick and perverted they are by tweeting us sex questions.
We love it. Bring it on.
Yeah. So we'll have the Twitter poll answer revealed at the end of the episode, and Richie Rich and I will give our answers as well.
God.
Although it was funny when I put it out there, my boyfriend was like, "Wait, is that like what you do or what you prefer?" So maybe we'll have to answer.
We've had a lot of different variations on that. My straight friend asked me.
Yeah, that's
He's like, "Is that like a top or a bottom question?" I'm like, "No,
How's that top or bottom?"
I'm like, "This is." He's like, "Oh," and I'll share what he said later on in the show as well.
No, it's nothing to do with position. Well, I guess it could have something to do with positioning, especially if you're going for distance. But
yeah,
yeah. So that's our sex question of the week.
The show is so stupid.
I know. This is what people need after a week like this.
Yes, they do.
We're going to try to be as funny and as drunk as possible, as sexual as possible, and as ridiculous as possible this week, because it has been a rough.
It's been a hell of a
time.
week, and everyone knows. Everyone feels it, unfortunately.
Most of our topics this week touch on the shootings in Orlando. The mass shooting that happened there was the largest ever in the United States. There was also the shooting there on Saturday with the singer from The Voice. There was also that child who was drowned by a gator who swam into the Walt Disney, like the Disney World
lagoon or something. Yeah,
this poor, like 2-year-old kid. So there was all this horrible tragedy going on in Orlando this weekend, which pretty much took up a lot of social media this week. And so that will be our main topic this week, trying to touch on various angles of how this kind of affected people and all of that stuff. But we do have a couple notes at the end. I have one really fun story. I have one celebrity bitch slap story that has nothing to do with Orlando. And then we can do who do we hate, who do we love this week.
Perfect.
So, and then we'll finish with our sex question. So,
and it's juicy.
Yeah, so if you guys have some thoughts about Orlando and you want to tweet us your reactions to this episode, you can always hit us up on Twitter. We love hearing from you guys. You can tweet us at
RichieRich909.
And I'm at Westifer. Well, normally we start with some shout-outs, and this week, is there anyone specifically you'd like to shout out to?
God, I don't really. It's been such a weird week.
It has. Yeah, it's like... I
think everyone's lives have pretty much been encompassed with this whole horrible situation. Well, multiple horrible situations, but... Yeah. I've been pretty negligent on interacting with most people.
It's been a weird week to be like, hey, I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Like usually we shout out people who are going to give us a listen or who have liked us or have had, some interaction with us as a show. And it's been I have tweeted a couple times this week. I think I tweeted about our guest appearance on Strength and Gaming this week. and some stuff
That's
like
been
that.
a lot of fun going back and forth
But
with those
yeah, it
guys.
hasn't really been a big week to market myself. I just haven't
really-
felt like a lot of my thoughts, like my social media thoughts this week, have been trying to be a little more thoughtful.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to a little later with some people who maybe haven't been so thoughtful, and holding them accountable for that. But of course, we should start with the big topic, which would be the, I guess, not the elephant in the room, but
the dark cloud over everyone's.
I'm going to take a big sip for this one, you guys. And pour a little out for my homies in Orlando. If you didn't hear, there was a mass shooting this weekend at a nightclub called Pulse, where I believe there were 49 people who were killed, and I think 52 people were injured, with, they were shot in the arm, or shot in the knee, or shot in the foot. I mean, things that will impact them for the rest of their life. And this was actually a gay club, and it was on a Latin night, and it appears that the person who perpetrated this crime had been to the club before, had maybe even interacted with people on dating, like gay dating apps. So those are pretty much the details that I don't want to share much more than that. I've been hearing some things. If you really want like a detail to kind of what happened, I know that helps some people. They want all the details, like how it breaks down. If you want to hear a really good account of what really happened that night, because it did take hours, NPR has some really good reports and some firsthand accounts of what happened. So I would check that out. But we want to talk more about the thoughts, feeling, emotions, responses from the community. And I think maybe at the start here, just give like a moment of silence to the victims and their families.
And now it's time to get angry.
Yeah, now it's time to get hella pissed. All right, Rich, where were you when you heard about this?
Oh, God. I had just woken up, oddly enough, to march in our local Pride Parade here in West Hollywood. And I woke up like 6:30 in the morning, some ungodly hour. And I just saw a Twitter notification saying that this person and like 300 other people had tweeted about Pray for Orlando, and I was like, what the hell is going on in Orlando? And I clicked on it, and then I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then went to Facebook and saw everyone's post, and immediately got worried because one of my best friends lives in Sarasota, which is not close to Orlando, but I mean, he goes down there all the time. I have a few really good friends in the Orlando area, and thankfully none of them were involved, but a lot of them do know people who were involved, and a few of my close friends here know one person in particular who did pass away, unfortunately. So it just kind of shook everything for me, because I was super excited. It was my first Pride Parade to march in, and that was a huge tarnish on everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you?
I actually woke up. I typically usually wake up pretty early, and I remember getting up, and my boyfriend was up really early, and he actually has a friend who does some promotions and stuff at that particular club. So luckily his friend wasn't there that night, but he obviously knows, the bartenders, the DJs, the, people that go there. I mean, all of that. So it immediately hit pretty close to home on that note. I mean, imagine knowing someone who they are not going to work tomorrow because everyone that they work with is either in the hospital.
Oh, God.
That's pretty brutal, and something that's kind of lasted. I was listening to something on the radio that talked about the parking, I guess, in that area isn't restricted, and that some of the club parking spills over onto the streets. And so there are still cars that have been there just in the same spot.
Oh my God, that's...
And so you don't know if it's someone who's in the hospital, you don't know if it's someone who didn't make it through the night, you don't but it's almost like these little tombstones along the street where these cars have just been there all week. So...
all things you don't think about Wow.
Yeah, so it's had this kind of effect, and obviously some of the reaction has been politicized and some of the reaction has been, for this or for that. But I think it's been hard to understand because first he had claimed some alliance or being inspired by some terrorist group, but then he said he was inspired by some other terrorist group that is in direct, like conflict with the other one, and none of his rationale made any sense. These people are not well, and they attach themselves to usually some kind of religious clause, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Muslim, whether it's whatever it is. They attach themselves to these ideas that make them grander than just some crazy person fulfilling some bizarre death fantasy. But it's been hard, I think, for our news feeds, I guess, because we have so many connections to people who are LGBT, where I don't really know how my friends' streams are going this week. Like, I've seen a ton of stuff about Orlando, but I don't know if my straight friends have, because it's kind of been lumped into this category now that it's determined it's not a terrorist act. It's kind of been lumped into this hate crime category.
Yeah.
And mass shootings are so common anyway that it's sad to say easy to kind of ignore them.
Yeah.
So within the first few days, I felt like it was immediately kind of turned into this crime against gays, where that also created
a big division,
reactions on
people.
On various sides. But
I'm just trying to get pissed or cry.
Yeah, where to fucking begin with this one? It's a really messy issue. It affects certainly our community very deeply. But every time I hear about a mass shooting, it seems like it's closer and closer. The one that was in December was in San Bernardino. That's only a few hours away.
Yeah.
This one now is targeting people who are in the gay community. The one before that was targeting people who were in a black church. The one before that was targeting people who were at a specific movie in a theater. Eventually, are you or someone that you know going to be involved in a mass shooting? Because it seems like a real statistical
all the fucking
plausibility.
rage lately.
It doesn't really matter if it's a gay club or a straight club or a synagogue or a mosque or a theater or a school or a church or whatever. The rate at which these things are happening, which, by the way, last count, there have been 5 since Sunday. 5 mass shootings since Sunday.
God.
So the rate that this is happening, the thought that this could happen to you or someone that you know is pretty close to the vest, and I think people are starting to get a real sense of that.
Yeah.
Because it is happening so randomly to all these different groups. And I feel like the one thing that's been happening via social media, which is a good thing, is being able to speak about this issue as a community. You've seen a lot of things where people are either just voicing their thoughts or condolences or what have you.
I'm just pissed at the fact that people are making this such a big Second Amendment situation, and I've unfollowed and unfriended so many people this week.
Second Amendment.
That has just been about, this didn't do it,
guns
this person did it.
It's not guns that kill people.
I don't have a problem with guns. I don't understand why the fuck you can purchase an assault rifle.
Yeah.
That is not something you're going to use to hunt a deer, a duck, anything. You don't even need it at a shooting range. If you are going to use one at a shooting range, then the people who run the shooting range should only be able to purchase them. There is absolutely no fucking reason why someone would need something that fires off that many rounds that quickly for recreational sport. Not one scenario I can think in my mind to justify that. Why is this able to happen? drives me nuts.
I hate that argument. Second Amendment.
Right.
Like, this is blanket, carte blanche. Anyone should be able to buy a gun with the easiest possible access. I absolutely support the Second Amendment. I myself, although I do not have guns in my home, we
both grew up with people who had guns in our homes.
Yeah, I both had guns, grew up with guns. I know how to shoot guns. I don't have anything against guns or responsible gun ownership, but I think part of responsible gun ownership is recognizing that there are weapons that are just too dangerous to be up for public consumption. And yes, that sucks. That's terrible. You should be able to have a fucking rocket launcher if you want one. That would be cool. But it's not safe. We don't have cars that go 500 miles an hour.
No, I can't go out and purchase a fucking tank right now.
No.
And drive it down Sunset Boulevard. Why? No. Because I can hurt people. There's nothing for me to... Nothing warrants me to have that type of a weapon.
Right.
There's no need. And for anyone who may be curious and have their conspiracy theories about how he even got the rifle into the club and blah, 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 please go on Facebook. There's a video of a man in a polo shirt. And I clicked on it today and I was completely dumbfounded, amazed, and disgusted. He showed exactly how you can. He had a
hide a rifle in your clothing?
In his jeans.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a heavily padded jacket. He had a polo shirt on and jeans.
Yeah.
In his living room. Pulled it up. There it was.
Yeah. You can lay the gun really close.
Absolutely.
The waistband keeps it close to the body.
All the cartridges and every other pocket. It's very, very easy.
Yeah, you could slip right in with that. I mean, it's not always a huge, hulking side holster weapon, that you see. So, yeah, I feel like, the guns it's low-hanging fruit. But then people have the immediate knee-jerk reaction to that, what is the saying? Like, guns kill people. People don't kill people.
Yeah, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Well, I feel like that's almost that's half right. It's people with guns kill.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's how it works out. And yeah, you should be able to have guns for safety and protection. And I think there was actually a security guard that was there.
Yeah.
I'm
sure, but again, you can sneak things in.
You can sneak things in. They had a gunfight. I believe the shooter took out the security guard early on. And so, the argument that someone else having a gun or more people having guns usually means more stray bullets, usually means more chaos, usually means more injuries. It also, when the authorities get there, they don't know who the actual perpetrator is, because it's just like a free-for-all. They have no idea what the hell's going on. Obviously, if someone had a gun, there are rights to defend themselves if they could carry it, but you need a special permit for that. And that's following along the lines of where I feel responsible gun ownership comes into play. This person bought this gun legally.
Yeah.
Legally. And took it into the club. And yeah, someone could have legally been carrying a concealed weapon and maybe taken the shooter out. Okay.
Why are there not more provisions on who can purchase the gun?
Why can you buy a gun like this? You know what? In 1986, I believe, they outlawed the fully automatic M16. Mm-hmm. Fully automatic means you press the trigger once and it bursts off as many bullets until you take your finger off the trigger. They outlawed those guns in the 80s. How many times have you heard of a crime being committed in the U.S. with an M16?
Exactly.
Like pretty much zero, at least in the last decade. You know why? Because yeah, you could get them on the black market, but
good luck walking to a fucking Walmart.
Good luck finding the black market. Yeah, it's not like Walmart. So banning these type of guns is a way to, at the very least, if people are still going to perpetuate these kind of crimes, it the very least doesn't provide them with the most efficient killing machines. I mean, that's a start.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
And can we do some background checks? I don't fucking know. This guy's been investigated from the fucking FBI 3 fucking times. Yeah, he's on a no-fly list. And can go and purchase the fucking...
He was. Well, not when he purchased the gun, but he had previously been on one. So, yeah, you'd think, like there should be some waiting period, some background check.
There should be a complete... I can't go and purchase a vehicle, which, by the way, I was going to call someone out by name, but I could not find what their name was on Facebook, so I'm going to not cyberbully them. And this is a gay person who lives here in West Hollywood, and made some idiotic remark about, well, what if someone just went into Pride and mowed someone down in their car, and mowed 50 people down in their car? Would people have a ban on cars? No, but you know what? You can't fucking go into any store and buy a car. Unless you have cash.
If there were a car that were that dangerous that always killed the driver and other people, they would take that car off the road. Yes,
I'm like, not only that, I'm like,
that car off the road.
If you scan someone's license plate, you can tell who the fuck they are. If they've had any kind of criminal record, the cops can pull you over for the smallest thing, and possibly prevent you from even reaching those people. You have to have a credit check. You have to have so many things to purchase a vehicle that some people need to get from point A to point B. But you can walk into any store and purchase a rifle. Yes. It's beyond me. Did you see the article I posted about the 20-year-old kid?
Oh, that bought one of those in like 15 minutes?
Yes, it was 5.
Yeah.
He did it as a test after the incident, just to see, because he lives in Virginia, and they're all about their
they said in Orlando the purchase of those guns is way up.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fucking kid went in there just as a test to see if he could. He said he didn't even have to ask to look at it. The person was trying to sell him one.
Yeah.
It was $700. He had to show him an ID, which was expired, by the way. And they never caught that.
Well, he was good for it. Come on.
And had to fill out a total of 5 pages of paperwork, which was just signing and dating, not really reading anything. And then he pretended that he didn't want it anymore because he wanted to just, think about it. And they encouraged him to come back and gave him the store's closing hours. Yeah. So under 5 minutes, he could have purchased the exact
And you know what?
weapon.
Honestly, in a world where there was peace and love in everyone's heart, and you were going to use that gun to shoot at targets and work on a skill, or use that gun to, I don't know, fucking whatever. If everyone were peaceful, that wouldn't even matter. That wouldn't make a difference. But we don't live in a world like that.
Nope. Not at all.
Unfortunately, and the assholes ruin it for us. Like I said, that's why we don't have a car that can go 500 miles an hour or fly. Imagine getting in a wreck if you were in a flying car, right?
Seriously.
Because people are idiots. And I think it's important to note that, and again, I totally support the Second Amendment, and maybe the last thing I'll say about the Second Amendment is this. I've been doing a lot of research, actually, since the last couple of mass shootings. And after the one in San Bernardino, there's a bill called the No Fly, No Buy, which is what you were referring to earlier, Richie Rich, which you can be on a terror watch list and not be able to fly, but you can still legally purchase a gun, where they're trying to at least introduce a bill where you'd have to, wait 3 days for a court to approve it, rather than just being able to buy one. And that would apply to, maybe 5 to 10 people a year or something. I mean, it's not a huge list, right?
Why not do a fucking background check? I don't get it.
Well, and
I can't get an apartment without a background check.
So there was this measure on the floor. It got voted down. They also rejected a measure to expand background checks, get this, for guns purchased online and at gun shows. So you can buy a gun online. They'll send it to you. I believe they have to send it to you in pieces, and you have to put it together. But that's not that hard to do. I can do that. There's also so those are all the ones that were kind of there. And so I've been doing some research into the Second Amendment idea and what it is. And what I found, actually, I thought was really interesting, and I'll try to encapsulate this the best that I can, because there's some aspects of it that I didn't write down. I don't have notes. We don't have an intern. We pour a glass of wine and wing it. So we try to just, normally we have a fun conversation.
Yes, normally it's a very shady fun.
And this week we're
deep and angry.
We're deviating slightly here and still drinking and still getting shit off our chest. But anyway, so here's what happened back in 2008. The Supreme Court actually took on a case that questioned the very validity of the Second Amendment itself, because some people believe it is only meant to arm a state militia. And the Supreme Court, I think it was only a 5-4 vote, but obviously they voted pro, that as an American citizen, you have at least the right to have a gun in your home as protection. Now, Justice Scalia, who obviously just recently passed away, but who was a very, very staunch, conservative and like constitutional scholar, really. Like, he always saw himself as someone who was there to really uphold the Constitution. And he almost always wrote either a dissent or he wrote for the kind of the winning side or whatever. And when they voted to say that, yes, Americans should be able to have guns and their home is protection, he said that that did not include taking your guns in public, and it did not include the type of gun. So even someone who is very, very clearly aligned with the Constitution, some people said too aligned, needed to progress a little bit. Even someone who is that strict in his interpretation still left room to say the government should at least be able to ban certain types of guns. I mean, he didn't specifically say they should be able to ban guns. He just said that the amendment didn't just say you could have any type of weapon that you wanted. So he left, I think, a real big room there. And so that's kind of where I would leave that, is that anyone that really leans toward that Second Amendment is to do a little research. And I think the only way that you can solve anything like this is being able to meet somewhere in the middle. The other component on the other side of this has nothing to do with guns. It has to do with the mental health side of people who would even consider doing something like this. A society where this is a norm. A society where we always turn to violence as the answer. We killed the bad guy in the movies.
Yep.
I mean, not that the movies are bad. We need those as entertainment value. But that's still our answer.
It is.
As a society is violence. Anger.
Yeah, and we're very desensitized to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is our first reaction to things. And think about that. When something doesn't go your way, what is your first reaction?
Anger.
Is it to get pissed off? Yeah, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. And that's a much bigger issue that I think, we'll have to get to another time.
Yes.
Because I want to move on to at least talking shit about some celebrities.
Yes. This is what we do best.
Yeah, exactly. Although one thing before we move on, if you do want to do something, I think a lot of people are feeling a little bit powerless in this situation. There are definitely things you can do. You can join the Brady campaign. You can join Everytown. You can get more involved with local, state, and federal laws that are up for votes. And you can also donate to the Pulse Victims Fund. There's a GoFundMe account. It's like gofundme.com/ I think just Pulse Victims Fund.
I believe so, yeah.
And you can see there, it's very clear, it's very transparent where the money is going and that it will get to the victims. There are some other funds that have sprung up, but they're not quite as transparent. So I would really direct you to that GoFundMe because they really spell out exactly who's handling the money and where it goes, and that's on the up and up, and the right people will get your donation. So, all right. So still related to Orlando.
Yes, but
more
on the shadier side.
But moving on, let's
pour a little more.
Let's top our wines off. Yeah, perfect. And get on to this next topic then. So you brought this one up.
Yeah, Nicki motherfucking Minaj can suck the meatiest part of my dick. Along with, and I know that she's just released something the last 7 hours, maybe 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift, you can suck it as well. Rihanna, I just unfollowed you on Twitter. These are all celebrities who, and Drake I've always hated, but he doesn't even have like a gay following. Yeah. But these are all people that have used and quote unquote supported the gay community the entire time to further their careers, have huge gay followings that without them they would not have those careers. A few of them, Nicki has claimed to be bisexual at one point to garner attention and press, yet has said nothing at all about Orlando. However, Nicki did promote a song 2 days ago, and when one of her followers tweeted that he was disappointed that she could go online to promote a song but can't even mention the Orlando incident, she unfollowed him and then proceeded to like a bunch of homophobic tweets. Perez Hilton tweeted something about her and threw some shade at her about her brother molesting. Oh, that's what happened. She, along with all these other tweets, she liked a tweet when someone said, fuck Perez Hilton, he's a dick sucker. And she liked that tweet. He responded with, and I'm just paraphrasing here, yes, I'm a dick sucker. It's amazing, but I only do things with people who are of age, unlike her brother, who, mind you, her brother was or is in jail for molesting a 12-year-old girl.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So.
Well, just as a side note, I know our mics kind of pick up some things.
Yes.
It's the first week of summer here, apparently, in LA, where the
there's
heat
a gaggle
is
of banshees
rising, and
outside.
there's a gaggle of, like, I don't know if they're gypsies, I don't know what they are, but they're all splashing around in the pool. So if you hear some background noise,
We apologize.
yeah, we do apologize for the lack of
interference,
lack of security to keep these people away from our
Going
studio.
intern, security, God, we need so much staff.
Fuck.
No, but
Okay, so
yeah,
Nikki has obviously not outright something, but clearly just through her likes, through retweets, through whatever,
completely
clearly
shaded the one community. Mind you, she has used Grindr and various other gay apps to promote her tours.
Yeah,
she's an alter ego by the name of Roman that she says is a gay man. So all this has been used over the years to promote her own image, gain her popularity, gain her revenue, yet she literally can't tweet anything or Instagram or Facebook something. Even just saying my condolences goes out to the hearts of those that have suffered. Same with Taylor fucking Swift. This is how so far removed she is from my
she's
my mind
Taylor
now.
Smith.
Yes. She, mind you, hasn't really posted much since her breakup with Calvin Harris.
Except a bunch of pictures of her and
recently,
her new boyfriend.
Exactly. And said nothing at all until today when she snapshotted a handwritten note apparently her handwriting.
It is her handwriting. She wrote down all the victims' names.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very thoughtful response, and I get that maybe it might take you a few days to get your thoughts together, but 4 or 5 days later, I do feel like maybe even a quick tweet like, Orlando, my heart's with you.
Right.
And then a few days later, maybe coming out with this note. Like, I get sometimes you have to collect your thoughts. I don't think... well, no, that's not true. I tweeted something a little later that day. But,
yes.
And it was specifically about Orlando because I went out to the Pride Parade. So, yeah, I feel like... I mean, it's weird to call someone out for not commenting on something.
Yeah.
But it's also like when that person is at least promoting themselves to be a friend of the community and... what have you?
Yep.
You would think that
my thing is
they
this.
might. I don't know.
I thought her timing was very suspect. I thought it came right after Time Magazine called both of them out for not saying anything at all, especially with their huge gay followings, and also right after the whole Nicki Minaj backlash, because this thing had a hashtag. And
well, Nicki Minaj, like that's a whole other fucking story.
Yeah.
Taylor, I can kind of like forgive. Yeah, maybe she took some time, and yeah, maybe the timing of it, it's like after she got called out. But at least she fucking took the time in her own way, in a very special way. And I think writing the victims' names down was a very sweet tribute.
Yeah.
Nikki is a fucking cunt.
Yes.
And fuck her.
And where the fuck is Rihanna? Because you're not off the hook either.
Okay.
You said not a goddamn thing. However, you did promote your new music and shit just the other day. And there's been nothing from her as well, which I think is completely laughable. And I had someone actually challenge me this week asking, well, does every celebrity need to say something? And my response was absolutely fucking yes. Because if these motherfuckers can go on Twitter and have Twitter beef with each other all the fucking time over the most petty bullshit you've ever heard of in your entire fucking life, over someone's speech, over what someone's wearing on the red carpet, or what someone might have said that may have even been alluding to them, and go back and forth for hours on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook for their own press, then yes, you need to say something. You have a platform, you have power. It's part of your fucking job.
Well, that's because, the Twitter fights and the selfies, I mean, that's all about them. When they actually
when it
about
doesn't
somebody else.
Yeah, when it doesn't involve them,
story.
then they want to show their true colors, which I think is complete bullshit. If you want to go ahead and use the community to go ahead and further your careers and keep a fan base, do that. If you want to be a slimy person, then that's for you to deal with. However, do something to let someone else know that you're thinking about them at least. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of fake shit in Hollywood, but for Christ's sake, if someone's going to be looking up to you for some type of validation, play up to it. And I'm not saying to be completely fake, but I'm just saying know what you need to do in your job.
Yeah.
And I'm dropping my mic on that.
Agreed. Well, the next thing I have, I guess, in WeHo this weekend, Uber is giving free rides to like gay destinations like the Abbey or...
there's the Abbey, FUBAR, the Gay and Lesbian Center of Hollywood and West Hollywood, Will Rogers Beach, which is extremely far away.
Yeah.
They'll give you a credit up to $20.
Right.
If you're going to any of these places, there are a couple of other places I can't remember offhand, but
so
I thought that was amazing.
Fiesta is doing something this Tuesday?
No, tomorrow, Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, noon to 4, Fiesta Cantina in West Hollywood. All proceeds from food and beverage sales will be going to the Orlando Fund. Also, Christina Aguilera just released a song, I believe, called Changes. Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong in the title, please forgive me. And all proceeds from that song will be going to the Orlando Fund as well. Yeah. And that's what I mean. If someone can record a song,
record a fucking
this
song.
Bitch fucking recorded a song, tweeted the second this thing happened, has been very vocal about the whole thing. Lady Gaga came out here and spoke in front of people in downtown LA. But someone can't take 3 fucking seconds out of their day to say something on the matter is what infuriates me. And I will no longer be supporting these artists. And I'm never this serious about anything ever in life. And that's just the truth. Yeah.
Well, good for Uber Fiesta. There's also something in WeHo, I think it is on Tuesday, that a number of bars are donating 20% or more of their proceeds for the whole night to Orlando. So again, if you're in this area, you can certainly do that. You could, like I said, look up the Victims Fund and put some love into the community. We need it right now.
Yes.
The next thing I had on my list is Pride. Obviously, our Pride was last weekend. Mm-hmm. There are Prides happening this weekend and pretty much all throughout the summer. I think it's really important to make sure that if you're worried about going to Pride, that you should just have a plan of action. Just know where you're going, know where your exits are, have kind of an exit strategy. I know that sounds really scary to think about, but don't allow fear to stop you from showing our strength as a community. That's what is really important, I think, to make it a big numbers year, because we have to show our strength as a community. So just know where you're going. Go somewhere where you feel safe. Go somewhere that you know that you're comfortable in. Like I said, where you know where your exits are. You have an exit strategy if something happens. Have all your friends have the same plan of action, and be safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have the next thing on my list is actually not related to Orlando, and is like one of 2 items left on my list. And this one will segue us actually into some happier news.
Yay.
So the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm sure you've seen this show, Car Karaoke.
Yes.
Adele's done it, and like all these people have done it. The Red Hot Chili Peppers and Anthony Kiedis were on Car Karaoke.
Yes.
And after their segment, they pulled over to get some food. And in this moment, a woman ran out of her house in a panic because her baby could not breathe. And Anthony Kiedis performed CPR on the baby and brought it back to life.
That is amazing.
Yes. And basically in there on the middle of this fucking street, basically performed CPR and helped this baby breathe again and like save this baby's life. How fucking amazing
is that?
Yeah. That's
awesome.
great.
That makes me smile. I like that.
Yeah, so there's a really good reason to get CPR certified, by the
Yes.
way. It'll teach you to be calmer in a panic situation. And, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll save somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have one more item, and then we can do who do we hate, who do we love,
Yay.
and get to our sex question. And this one, actually, I picked for you, Richie Rich, because I know you're not even a secret fan or a guilty fan of Kendall Jenner.
The one Kardashian/Jenner that I support.
Well, I have always said, and I'm not trying to, you know, quote unquote bully the family, whatever. I just don't understand.
It's
the
so
appeal.
easy. They're annoying.
They're annoying. They're
and
useless.
self-obsessed
They're
and just
brainless. They're self-obsessed.
Yes.
I don't
Ugh.
see, you know, whatever. People, they have their appeal. People like them. I don't watch them. Fine, but I'm starting to.
See, I open your
I'm
eyes.
starting to go over to
It was like episode 10 or
Kendall's
11. I was like, you know,
side.
there's this one I actually like.
because
Because I think she
Stephanie-
hates her family. And she's waiting
because
to
she
escape.
feels about them the same way that we
That
do,
we all do.
basically. So here's what happened. So Stephanie Seymour, who of course is a very famous supermodel, she's been working for many, many years, and she's someone who I think still has some play in the industry.
sure.
She basically called Kendall and some of the other models like the bitches of the moment, like downplaying the fact that they were today's quote unquote supermodels. And Kendall, even though Kendall called her a bully, which I don't think she's really being a bully, but Kendall said, look, if you're going to come for me, I'm going to stick up for myself. She says, no one's trying to steal Stephanie's thing or try to be her. That when you say that we're just bitches of the moment, you know, if you want to call, if people want to call like people like Gigi and I supermodels, it doesn't take anything away from supermodels of the past. So Kendall went on to say, obviously I have respect for those women of the past, but right now we are the models of this time. Are we significant? Maybe. Are we hardworking? Sure. I thought that was a great
Perfect
response.
non-Kardashian response.
Yeah. So it actually didn't really even say like, I work so hard, or I do this, or it was like she actually mentioned someone else, number one, not just herself, and kind of downplayed her own significance, but did say that she at least was doing the job. And she's right. These are the models of today.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones getting the work. They're the ones going down the runway.
Absolutely.
They're the ones you see in the billboards. And
Yeah.
so, all right, bitch, well played.
It's the truth. I mean, there's a reason why she's the only one that I really like. I used to like Chloe because she's outspoken, and now I don't anymore because she's just a twat as well.
She turned
But
over.
yeah, she absolutely did. She was the one I was like, oh, I love Chloe.
Something
She's
changed.
real. She hates everything else. And then I was like, wait.
Something changed with her.
Fuck,
We
like
lost
she's
her.
getting so vapid, and
We
I
lost her,
I have no Kardashians that I like anymore.
Yeah.
Because that was my only
lost
strand of hope.
Chloe.
And then here comes Kendall.
I agree.
That has not altered her appearance and got lip injections at the age of 17, or dating someone that's 10 years her senior, or doing anything for any type of attention besides actually working.
Right.
And I can't get mad at that. You can't choose your family.
Yeah.
You can sure the fuck run away from it and distance yourself from it. Which is what I love, because she doesn't like them at her shows. She does not like them to be anywhere near her. And she's on the show, I'm sure, for contractual reasons. And I think she's barely on the show from what I've read.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch the show. So
Me
I
either.
would never know. But it does. I thought it was a very well said reply.
That was a classy read.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
a very classy read, and I have a feeling. I mean, I know she's obviously got a team of people,
Yeah.
but it sounds like something someone her age would write. You know, it doesn't sound very PR-ish to
No,
me. It
not
sounds
at all.
like she probably wrote it. Or
Yeah.
had some hand in writing it. So that's cool. So that brings us to the end of our topics, and we're moving on this week to who do we hate? Who do we love? This week.
You can start this week.
I'll start. I heard a rumor that the Spice Girls are doing a reunion, but they're going to replace both Posh and Sporty Spice.
I heard that too this week, and I was like, what?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. That's not a fucking reunion.
You can't replace
the
most popular one of current times and the one that could actually sing very well.
But
like,
Spurt is the
what are you
only
gonna
one that
do?
can sing.
I mean, shit.
She is the only one that can sing. My boyfriend tried to convince me that Jerry Halliwell could sing by playing me her rendition of "It's Raining Men."
Jerry Halliwell was the least talented vocalist. Victoria had more vocals than Jerry Halliwell did.
I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Do not use
The
this
order
song as an
went like
example.
this, and I'm a Spice Girls fanatic.
Woo.
It went Melanie C, Emma Bunton,
Baby, yep.
and then Melanie B, Victoria, and then Jerry.
Pretty much.
That's that. Like everyone knows this. This is not brand new
It's
information.
not up for debate. And you don't get a reunion with only half of the people there,
No.
unless like they're dead or something like that.
Yeah,
Unless
like
they're
that-
dead. So
that's a whole
that's
different
just
story,
weird
but-
and fucked up, and I just find that to be very,
Ew.
very bizarre. So, what do I love this week? Well, in spite of everything that has happened in Orlando, what I've seen a lot of this week are posts where people are trying to inspire change, and they're also reflecting on the people that we've lost as our brothers and sisters. And I really love this idea because if you meet someone who is a like maybe a generation older than we are, they always used to, it was kind of a code word, but they always used to call each other family. Like, oh, he's family or she's family, meaning this person is gay. But of course at that time you couldn't just say, oh, this person is gay, like in public. So you would say, oh, they're family. And even though it was like a, subtle, word to use meaning something else or whatever, I like that. I really like the idea of us all being a family. So I love that concept. I love seeing that play out, and I would love to see that continue to think about the LGBT community as a family. So that's what I love this week. So on to you, Richie Rich. What do you hate? What do you love?
Oh God, so much to hate this week. I hate Demi Lovato, which is actually going to be one of our topics. But I was like, I'm just going to save this.
Yeah, we left that off the list.
Someone posted a meme, and it was Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande, who, Ariana and she are friends, and I get it, whatever. But someone said, what you see online versus what comes in the mail. Comparing Mariah.
So it's like Mariah Carey's what you see online. It's like the commercial burger, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the store and get
then
the burger.
there's Ariana Grande.
And it's like, oh.
There's this big feud between the two of them, and it's so stupid, but yeah. And
So
then
Demi
she decided
the
to
fuck
take it upon herself and saying, oh, no, you got it the other way around. Which, mind you, Mariah Carey didn't post this shit. Like, some random person
Mariah doesn't even know what a meme is.
It was like a shade Twitter. And that's just what they do. I'm sure there's plenty of things that say vice versa.
Sure. Right.
Like, that's just what they do. It's strictly for satire. It's strictly just for your entertainment.
Like Mariah had something to do with it.
Yeah.
As though Mariah fucking reads Twitter.
Right, and even cares.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, the internet went in on Demi Lovato, which they should.
Yeah.
She gets on my nerves. She's so self-righteous and preachy. And I get it, you're clean and sober and all of that. So you claim, and I get it. But she's so against bullying. But she's the first person to spark up some type of feud with someone.
I feel
or
like
say some
she
shady
is
shit. Like, I just don't trust her.
She is the quintessential millennium brat.
Yes.
Where whenever something doesn't go her way, or whenever she just always has to like be a fucking brat and like pick fights.
Maggie, this is the same girl that beat up one of her backup dancers.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget that.
That actually was a moment when I really liked her. I was like, yes, this crazy bitch. Yes.
And then you're like, no, she's just a fucking brat.
Like, no, she is a brat. She
is, absolutely.
Complains about everything. She makes everything about her. She misconstrues things to be about her. She, picks fights. She's actually kind of a bully.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's so anti-bully, but she's always
she actually kind of because she's using her own celebrity to browbeat people and like quote unquote call them out and quote unquote be real with them. When really she's kind of
and she kept going on and on and on, responding to people's comments and everything. And I was like, girl, Did you have a career to do?
She had nothing else to do.
Did you have a song to record? Some, I don't know, choreography to rehearse?
Yeah, apparently
something to promote?
Apparently not.
Yes, that's who I hate.
Right.
Who do I love? And this is bringing me back to Orlando just for 1 second.
Yeah.
I love Brenda Lee Marquez McCool, who is the mother. God, it's so sad.
Yeah.
The mother of Mike Marquez. She threw herself in front of bullets to save her son, who is still alive. She's a 2-time cancer survivor.
Did she live too?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
she died.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, she threw herself in front of everything to protect her son, which her son is still alive. But yeah, she beat cancer twice.
Yeah.
She was there with her son just celebrating.
Yeah.
And my God, like, that's...
You know, that's the one thing I've heard people say. Whenever I talk to my parents, we always try to, like, at least see some, you know, light in any situation. And, you know, although it's obviously a complete fucking tragedy that happened to these people, there's been such an outpouring of love. It was so obvious that, you know, this was a community, the people at the club, a lot of them knew each other, cared for each other, and all, you know, had this. So there's so much, there was so and is so much love there that even through all this tragedy, you can't defeat that. You can't make that go away. You can't change that. No matter how horrific that night may have been, you can't change all that has happened before and all the love and support that has come after. So, at the very least, there's that.
Oh, I have a side love-hate moment, real quick. Just really quickly. I'm sorry, we're like running low on time. I don't know if you saw this, but there was someone whose name has changed now on Twitter who tweeted, a man comes into a gay club and chews up everyone. They call it terrorism. I call it community service. Someone retweeted this because he's a Walmart employee.
Whoa.
And said, at Walmart, please come get your employee and please come make him accountable for his tweets. They fired him. And he tweeted about it and has since changed his Twitter name and made his Twitter private.
Wow.
So I can't stand him, whatever your former name was. And I don't love Walmart, but I like them.
Wow.
For doing that because they actually took a stand immediately.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was really quick. So there we go.
All right.
I have two this
That's
week.
like a love-hate all wrapped up into one.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well,
let's get dirty.
That brings us to, some dirty shit to take our minds
what do our polls
off
say?
of all this horrible crap happening this week. So, our poll, I said our sex quiz is all about the big O. Do you spurt or dribble? And 67% went for the distant spurt.
All right.
33% said dribble pool, which I took it to mean like, okay, so there's kind of two speeds. Like there's either you actually, spurt where it shoots out of you, or it's kind of like honey dribbling out of a straw. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of two speeds. So
there's some variation,
variations between the two. You could go for long distance. You might be, whatever. But this probably would one of the two, right? 67% said they were squirters. You said your coworker was confused.
Yes, I have a straight coworker, Blake of American Moonshine, who got us drunk that one night. About 20 episodes ago, actually.
Yeah.
My Lord, it's been so long now. He leaned over to me after some deliberation about the question and said, so is that like a top or a bottom like type situation?
Oh my God.
And I was like, no. It's like when you come and it either like drools out or it shoots out. And immediately, without drop the hat, he said, oh yeah, I'm definitely a shooter. I've almost put out my fiance's eye before. I was like, oh, well, that was some information that I wasn't expecting. Yeah. That was some elaboration I wasn't expecting. All right. Yeah, so.
There you go. People are very willing to give up this kind of information.
I'm surprised, actually. Over the past few months that we've been doing this, I'm really surprised at how open people are.
Well, they respond more to the polls, but then this question was actually given to us by
Yes.
someone on Twitter. So thank you for that. We love getting questions from our audience. And to answer the question for myself, it's not I've never put anybody's eye out, but I would definitely classify it as a spurt versus a dribble.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like belly button status.
But yeah. Well, it's already kind of at navel level, so a little higher.
Okay. This show is so stupid. Why are we doing
if we're gonna get it, can I draw your diagram?
So it's right above the second pack.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Just below the sternum.
God, I hate us. Lord. Okay, I guess I have to answer now. I actually vary.
Oh, it alternates. Well, that's what my friend Adam said on Twitter. He's like, it depends on the guy.
Yeah,
It probably could depend on a position as well.
It's for me. I think it's more of a longevity thing, and how many times I've done something, be it with myself or someone else.
True.
Because if it's been, it's never like past a day, but if I've taken a long time getting there, most likely it's going to super soak. And I have almost blinded myself once before. Other times there's always like a light spurt, but it's more of a dribble. So less intense. Yeah. I'm a Gemini, so apparently that just resources itself into every inch of my life.
There you go.
Pun intended.
Right. So you could be somewhere in the middle.
Yep, it's always just a surprise.
Yeah. I think positioning has something to do with it as well.
Yeah.
Certain muscles are involved. Mm-hmm. If you know anything about Kegels exercises, then
yep.
All that. Plus, if you hold it.
Oh yeah.
And then versus just letting it go.
Letting it go.
Exactly.
God, this show's ridiculous. How long have we been talking now?
Just over an hour.
Oh wow, we're actually good this week.
Yeah, I thought this episode might be a shorter episode, but I'm glad we got to talk on all the topics we got to.
Yeah.
I do feel like we have tried to, present a lot of angles to things that are going on here, but we would certainly love to hear from our listeners as far as what your thoughts are on any of these topics. Or
including
anything
the cum question.
Yeah, and it's certainly the dirtier, the better. But if there's something else,
keep our minds off of all the seriousness.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you do want to, have questions about how you can get involved and what you can do, definitely hit us up. You can tweet us
at RichieRich909,
and I'm at Westifer. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Richie Rich and Westifer Show. We are brought to you by Better by 30, a new you in 30 days. It is an ebook available now on Amazon.com. The step-by-step guide to self-improvement. That'll make you better in 1 month. Timetable it. All right, you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.